6 days. That's all it took. A full-scale war. Nations shocked. The map of the region changed forever. This is the true story of the Six-Day War. Wars usually last for years, right? We think of conflicts dragging on, with endless battles and negotiations. But what if a war could change the course of history in less than a week? 2. In 1967, a conflict erupted in the Middle East that lasted only 6 days. Yet its impact is still felt across the globe today. This is the incredible story of the Six-Day War, a conflict that proved history can be rewritten in the blink of an eye. To understand how it all happened so fast, we need to go back to the mid-1960s. The Middle East was a powder keg, with tensions simmering just below the surface. Imagine a region where neighboring countries were locked in a web of political disputes, constant border skirmishes, and intense military pressure. Leaders on all sides made public statements that only fueled the flames of fear, raising the stakes higher and higher. Armies were mobilized and placed on high alert along shared borders. Troop movements were reported daily, and the international community watched with bated breath. It was clear to everyone that the region wasn't just preparing for a small conflict. It was bracing for something big, something that could explode at any moment. The air was thick with anticipation and dread. Then, on a quiet morning in June 1967, the fuse was lit. The conflict didn't just begin. It erupted with breathtaking speed and precision. The first move was a series of lightning-fast strikes. Air bases became the primary targets. In just a matter of hours, a significant portion of the military aviation assets in the region were neutralized on the ground before they even had a chance to take off. This initial move was a game-changer. Speed and the element of surprise were the key weapons. The entire situation on the ground changed dramatically and rapidly. What many had expected to be a drawn-out, grinding war of attrition was immediately turned on its head. The events of those first few hours set the stage for everything that followed. Free holiday. Over the next few days, the world watched in stunned disbelief as the conflict unfolded at an unbelievable pace. Day 1, Day 2, Day 3. With each passing day, control over strategically vital areas shifted hands. The fighting on the ground was fierce and moved quickly across multiple fronts. Key territories were captured, and front lines were redrawn hour by hour. International leaders in Washington, Moscow, and at the United Nations were scrambling to keep up. The sheer speed of the events was shocking. What was universally expected to be a long and bloody war, potentially lasting months or even years, was over in less than a week. By the end of the 6th day, the fighting had all but ceased, leaving behind a completely transformed landscape. You can imagine, the global reaction was immediate and intense. The international community expressed deep concern and alarm. The United Nations Security Council held emergency sessions, with diplomats from around the world calling for an immediate ceasefire. The pressure mounted from all sides to bring the fighting to a halt. Finally, after 6 days of intense conflict, the war officially ended. But this was far from the end of the story. The consequences were profound and long-lasting. Borders had been completely redrawn, the political balance of the entire region was upended, and the security dynamics were fundamentally altered. The world was now dealing with a new reality, one that was forged in just 144 hours. Even decades after the last shot was fired, the effects of those 6 days continue to ripple through our world. The conflict reshaped relationships between nations in the Middle East for generations to come. It became the starting point for all future negotiations, peace efforts, and, unfortunately, future tensions as well. The Six-Day War is now one of the most studied military conflicts in modern history, a textbook example of how strategy, surprise, and timing can lead to a swift and decisive outcome. It stands as a powerful reminder of how quickly the world can change. The Six-Day War proved that history doesn't always move at a slow, predictable pace. Sometimes, history is made in a flash. 2. It only takes a few days to reshape decades of politics and redraw the map of the world. This story is a powerful lesson in how fragile peace can be and how quickly the winds of change can blow. If you found this story as fascinating as I did, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel for more true stories from history. Thanks for watching.